And included in the first tier of vaccine recipients are the first responders, firefighters, police officers, and EMS workers. Our local firefighters are designated providers of the vaccine, meaning they will be able to receive doses and then administer them among their ranks. 3 News' Nora Perez spoke with the Corpus Christi Fire Chief on their plans for the coming weeks.
The first wave of vaccinations could take place with those doctors and those nurses there at the hospital facilities. Shortly after that, it will be the first responders, EMS, fire, law enforcement will be able to access some of those vaccines.
Corpus Christi Fire Chief Robert Rocha says his people have a plan in place for when his department receives the first batch of vaccines later this month. That includes staggering the administration of the vaccine to make sure firefighters and other first responders tolerate the doses well and don't experience severe side effects. Chief Rocha also says the fire department has consulted with the City-County Health District on how to keep the vaccine doses viable and well protected.
We're working closely with the health department director and her staff in order to make sure that we're following all the protocols that we need to in order to safely distribute the vaccine.
The vaccine is not mandatory for firefighters, law enforcement, and other rescue personnel, but Rocha is encouraging participation in the program.
We want to make sure that we give enough information for firefighters to make an educated decision with regards to the vaccine. I would hope for 100% participation. There are going to be some people that are not going to want to get vaccinated, and we're going to respect those wishes.
And he has high hopes that his department will play their part in bringing about much-needed relief in dealing with this pandemic.
We feel confident that once we get notice that a vaccine is headed our way, we'll be able to implement our plan and get our firefighters and police officers vaccinated. This is the next phase to the COVID-19 pandemic, the vaccination phase. I think we've all been waiting for this part to take place, and we're looking forward to distributing vaccines to all of our firefighters and all of our first responders.
Nora Perez, 3 News.